Hello, everybody. Welcome to the engine house. Well, I've been doing a little work in here. As you can probably tell, the camera is facing a different direction. I like this a little better because now we don't have to worry about too much of the glare of the window. And if I turn this on, we're not getting a glare on the camera. So I can use this if I need to for little projects here. And I can keep the window open and let in some natural light. I kind of like that a little better. I got rid of that table over there, and I was storing finished or partially finished projects on it, and this, hopefully, without having that there to collect stuff, it'll force me to bring the stuff downstairs when it's done. I brought up this shelf unit, which was down in the basement, and put it over here instead and put all my paints and stuff on it. So I still have all of that, and some of the projects I'm working on are on one of the shelves that that's working on stuff. Green Pastures Dairy is sitting right here. Anyway, the reason these are here is I took these to the presentation, and as everybody knows, model building, you build it, you put it on your layout, and that's where it's supposed to stay. I took these to the presentation. They're very delicate, as we all know, right? And some of the pilings came loose on this, so I've had to glue them. And my grandson, actually, 15-year-old kid, coat on, not really paying much attention. He was at the table this was sitting on, and it was right near the edge, and he caught it when he turned around and flipped it over. Luckily, the only thing that came off was this and this guy here, and I was able to glue them back together. No damage done per se. Everything is fine. Those have been glued back together. They're currently setting up, and they'll go back down on the layout until the next time. And I'll get to that. The presentation was a bust. I did not realize it. I should have. When I start getting brain fog kind of thing and can't focus, I'm getting kind of sick. And I was showing no symptoms of sickness. It's some of the junk you come back with from the Persian Gulf. It just does stuff. Sunday, the following morning, on Sunday morning, I woke up with a migraine headache, a sore throat, and an upset stomach. Okay, so probably was not a good, I have done presentations in the past. I have done numerous presentations on things in the Navy. I know how to do this stuff. Public speaking doesn't bother me, but I should have realized. The other thing that happened there is somebody in a previous showing, this is the city or the town's old town hall, and this is where this is set up, and they have a thing called the OWL, which is for Zoom meetings. It will focus on whoever is talking. Well, that didn't seem to be bothered much, but they messed with the computer there, and when he tried to pull the PowerPoint up on the big screen so everybody in the room could see it, it would not come up. It would come up on his laptop, the city manager would come up on his laptop at the back of the room, but it just was not coming up on the big screen. The whole thing was a disaster. It was one of the worst ones I've ever done. He and I have talked. We're going to do one later after the holidays, or maybe before Christmas. I don't know, depending on circumstances. That it's just going to be me. We're going to have the thing set up. I'm going to give the presentation with everything working, and then it'll go out later on Zoom. Okay. I will have some information. He didn't tell me how people could find it until the day of that morning. And I couldn't, basically couldn't tell too many people that you have to go to the town's Facebook page, click on the link to get added to the Zoom meeting. So it'll come later, but we are going to be doing another one, and I hope this. And again, he's been waiting for hip surgery, which is why we had to postpone this the last time, was because he thought he was going to have the hip surgery, and it turns out that got canceled. he's in a lot of pain. He's had one hip done. He needs the other one done. And his doctor, the surgeon, went on his honeymoon. So it got pushed back, which is why we were going ahead and doing it when we did. So if he does not have surgery coming up, he doesn't really want to do it in the winter. So he's hoping to push it off till spring. So probably here in the next few weeks, I'll be doing another presentation on model railroading. And hopefully I will not have brain fog. I will not be getting sick, and it'll go off a whole lot better. There won't be any participation from people there. It'll just be me giving the presentation. So that will probably end up being a little better, I hope. In the meantime, I am trying to rearrange some of this stuff here, as you can see. And we have some other stuff. It is the holidays coming up, Thanksgiving. This is the day before Thanksgiving when I'm filming this or taping this or whatever you want to call it. And then it'll come out in the next. We have another one coming out prior to this, and this one will come out, of course, sometime in December. But either way, we have the holidays coming up. I have been busy around the house, getting stuff. Of course, again, I've said this is a 100-year-old house. A lot of issues, stuff has to be fixed. And so I've been dealing with that. I think I finally got the last few. I found some places in the basement where I had repaired the foundation, was still letting cold air in. So I fixed all of that. I pretty much got that all taken care of. The basement stays considerably warmer now, and therefore so does the house. I'm also going to be, hi, Shop Kitty. I see you want to come up here. Let me move this out of the way. Hi, nobody wants to see your butt on TV. Anyway, I will be shooting more videos down there. We also have the pellet stove down there working now. Fingers crossed, it stays functioning as it should. One of the things I think I've mentioned in the past is that pellet stove is an off-grid pellet stove that takes no electricity to make it work, but it was designed for softwood pellets because the designer was out in Oregon. We're having a little trouble because softwood pellets put out more BTUs. They also burn hotter, and because they're softwood, they burn hotter, they burn faster, they put out more BTUs, whereas hardwood pellets, which is what we can find here, burn slower, less heat, less BTUs, and they tend to burn longer. So we're having a little issue making the stove understand that you're burning hardwood pellets now. We've got a few other little tinkers to do to it, and it should be fine. But I've had it running for a couple of days down there, and there's been a couple little issues, but it's better now. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks, I'll be able to start working again on my layout. Now that winter is setting in, there's not a whole lot I can do outside or to the house. So I'll be doing a lot more in here. I still have the farm diorama thing to finish. That's one of the projects that's got to get done real soon. I want to put that down on the layout. I'm going to be doing some more scenery work, and we're going to be doing some other things happening with it as well. So I'm going to be doing a lot. And we tried to, my son and I, we tried to find the fittings I needed to hook up his air compressor to my sandblasting cabinet. And this area, I don't know what it is about this, but we have to go from 3/8 off the air compressor to 1/2 inch for the dryer. You want, I know some of you may know this, but some of you may not. When you have an air compressor, it puts out, when it makes heat, when it's making the oxygen, pumping the air and whatnot, it makes moisture to go with it because of the heat. And that goes into the tank and it goes out your air line. And if you're using an air tool or something, it's not that big a deal. But if you're trying to do something like use complete blank, trying to use something like an airbrush, or a sandblaster, you want dry air. You don't want moisture in your sand. That's just going to gum up the works. So we have to put a dryer on this thing, which has 1/2-inch connections to a 3/8. So we tried finding, and we haven't had any luck. The last couple places we had a very bare minimum of fittings, and it's frustrating. We have looked and looked and looked. I might have to just break down and go to Lowe's all the way down in Presque Isle to find what I need. That's going to be a bit of a pain in the neck. We have to go from the compressor dryer, from the dryer to the pressure regulator that's right at the sandblasting table, and then from that to a connection that goes to the nozzle that does the sandblasting. Finding the right connections is, brass fittings, metal, I don't care. You really don't want plastic. The pressure would take, it'll be the end of it. But I have not been able to find the correct fittings I need. So I'm still looking. I want to get back to my grandson and this locomotive. It's buried over. You don't see it up here anymore because I'm trying to clean this mess up. It's over there on a shelf, and he's wanting to get back to it. I'm wanting to get back to it. He's excited about learning how to do some of this stuff. It's just a matter of finding all the components we need. And in this area, sometimes, and things take longer. So it will happen, but we'll get there. And I hear a dog. Hello, Amarok. Hello, Shakoba. I got both of them right here. Okay, guys, easy, easy, easy. Go, go, go. Come on. Yes, there's a tripod right here. Do not knock it over. Our 2 dogs. Usually you see them come in because the camera's over there. Amarok, yeah, thank you. I love those dogs, but there are a couple of boneheads. They're very lovable boneheads. So anyway, we will get back to that. I also have the box cars here there was a video a few months ago of us starting the box cars. He's in school now, and it's been hard trying to find the time to get him here to do a little work on those, and we'll get there. It'll all come around, and we'll start putting things together. It's the winter, things move a little slow, so I'll be working some more on Green Pastures Dairy. You'll see some work done on that here in the near future. And the other thing I did was the N scale layout, the Santa Fe Canyon. I've got it sitting over here in a box. I found the correct locomotive, which is the Santa Fe 3500. I found both of the box cars that are supposed to go with that set. And because I was not sure I was going to be able to find parts for this particular, this is Lifelike, and I could not find any Lifelike parts. And I didn't just want to order any trucks or anything because they might not fit. Every manufacturer sometimes does things a little differently. And so Amarok, would you please? Come on. Hey, go on. You're right underneath the tripod there, buddy. Come on. Yes, you're a good boy. Anyway, every manufacturer does things a little differently. So to order parts on the internet, if they're not the exact parts for this, I'm not going to waste the time and the money on it because that's a waste if it doesn't work. So I did manage to find another caboose that's whole, and I've ordered them. They're on the way. So that set will be functional in the near future. And I'm excited about that. So far, I have, as far as model railroad stuff goes, I have the 5 most popular gauges, scales, however you want to call it. I have G, which is my grandson's, granted, but is here. And he and I have some fun with it, doing stuff. I have G, I have my O, I have S. I actually have a loop of track for S, and I have the locomotive, and of course, I've got, I think, 5 or 6 rolling pieces of rolling stock for that. Not a lot, but that's the set. That when it was original, it was the locomotive and those rolling stock. I got the whole mess for $15. and out when I was still out west. The locomotive and the tent, everything now works. Everything's going to have to be serviced when I get back down to actually running trains down there in the basement. I'm going to have, everything's been packed up for so long, I'm going to have to service stuff before I run it. It's a never-ending battle, right? But anyway, so I have GOS, I have HO. It's the it is the Spirit of 76 came out at the bicentennial. The year before, actually, there were like 3 different sets. There was a diesel electric with some freight cars. There was a steam with freight cars and a steam with passenger cars. I originally had the steam with the freight cars. I don't even remember what cars there were. There was a caboose and there's a dog barking. There was probably a boxcar like this. This is part of the set. This, as you can see, is missing a lot of components, but that's okay. I don't have a lot. I have one little section of HO track that's big enough for the locomotive and the tender, and that's all the track I have. With everything else, I have enough track to at least make a loop. But anyway, the Spirit of 76 set I had as a kid is long gone. I have no idea where that disappeared to. After I joined the Navy at 17, a lot of my stuff, train stuff, was given away. It vanished. My parents would move, and my dad had been in the Marine Corps in the 50s, where once you went into boot camp, the clothes you were wearing went to Goodwill. You never saw those again. And I think my dad was under the impression at the time that all my stuff, I would not be able to take it or do anything with it, because that's the way he was, so they just started giving a lot of my stuff away. And I came home and I was like, what, did I die? But either way, I found another set online that was the passenger set, and I bought that. And now, of course, I have N. So I never thought I would be doing N, because it is small, and it's, the older you get, you know how that goes. Your eyes don't quite. So it's going to be fun putting the stuff on the tracks and running it. That'll happen. There'll be a video of that just as soon as I get the cars here and the locomotive. I'm missing one thing with that. There were 2. I think they were plastic, hard plastic. They could have been stiff cardboard, but I don't know. I've only seen them when I was looking this stuff up. They're supposed to be 2 pieces about that long and probably about that wide, with a snap at either end, because the lid of the box, when you open it, you're supposed to snap these on. There's a snap on the lid and there's a snap on the base, and the back is got a seam on it. I don't know if I've showed that to you, but I will when I put the cars and stuff on it. But anyway, it has a seam on it. It's way out of scale, but it's this background scene for that particular set. And those were 2 pieces that were also missing, and they probably disappeared soon after. This set has probably changed hands a couple of times, because somebody had taped one end of the box that didn't need to be taped. That was the hinge to lift the lid up. There is some damage on the box, but overall the set itself is in pretty good shape. So, I'm going to play with it a bit, and I'm going to either make something to hold that lid up, or I will find it online. I don't know. Probably be easier to make it than find it online. I did manage, because I did find another set, and that's how I knew, because it had all the pieces, including those braces, but I didn't tell you what they were. It's just 2 pieces of white material about that long with snaps at either end. It's like, well, okay. Either way, there'll be something working on that. I will be, again, back down in the basement soon, I hope, now that I can keep the basement warm. And I could run the furnace to keep the basement warm, but that means burning oil. And I don't know if any of you, if you're in New England and you have an oil-fired furnace, you know what oil's running right about now. I'd prefer not to run oil. And of course, the heat pumps downstairs keep the first floor and the second floor nice and comfortable, but there isn't one in the basement. So pretty much the only thing I have down there is the pellet stove, and that will keep the whole house warm once it's fired up and it's been running for a few hours. The heat pump on the first floor doesn't hardly work at all, and the one up here doesn't work, period. It won't come on. So I will be down there doing a little more in the basement here real soon. So bear with me. It's been kind of a crazy year. The year is almost over. Hopefully next one's better, and I'll be getting some more stuff done, and we'll be shooting some more videos. I will keep you posted on when the next presentation is going to be taped. I don't know for sure when it's going to be broadcast. That's the problem. But I will put out where to find it. You're just going to have to keep checking it's the town of Van Buren, Maine, their Facebook page. That's where the link will be to the Zoom. So if you want to watch the presentation, you have to find, if you're on Facebook, I am not, I don't have Facebook, haven't had it for years. But if you are on Facebook, you can go to find the town of Van Buren, Maine, their Facebook page, and you will see somewhere when it's ready to be, he'll have a link there to say it's coming out on this date. You can click on, if you have Zoom or download Zoom, you can click on that and zoom right in and watch the presentation. Hopefully it'll be much better than that one was, because that was terrible. I'm embarrassed almost to admit it. It happens. When you're disabled, you can't control your disability. You can't control what's what. So you just have to roll with it. And that's what I do. And of course, you can't control equipment failure. That, I think, was somebody messing with the computer after the show the previous night that somebody did, and they just messed something up. And the town manager was going to find out what was going on and make sure it was fixed. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, quick thing here, just the way it is and what's going on. Kind of an update, just cleaning up the room here. I've been finding stuff too that I thought I'd lost, like my little paint. You put water in here and your paint brushes to clean them off. It's nice to sometimes clean out your craft room when your workshop area. I hadn't done that in a while here, so it's and I decided I needed a little more room, and I got that table was crowding. This room is small enough as it is. I kept trying to convince my wife to let me have her craft room. The previous owners of this house raised 3 kids here, 2 daughters and a son. The 2 daughters had the second largest room. There's the master bedroom. And again, this is a 100-year-old house. They didn't build them like they do now with huge bedrooms. So you had the master bedrooms only slightly larger than the room the girls were in. And this room is, I would call it a glorified closet in today's homes. This is not a very big room, but this was the son's room. And Jade, no, honey, stay over there. Or St. Bernard. Oh, all of them came up. Hi. Okay, yes, I love the puppies. Everybody kind of go back downstairs now. Go on. Jade, no, go back downstairs. Go on, Amarok. So anyway, critters. I keep trying to convince my wife I need that room because she's never up here. When she's doing her crap, Cat, you are going to hurt. Yes, I know, but you're going to hurt my building. When she's doing her crochet or blocking or anything she's doing it downstairs at the kitchen table or in the living room. She's never up here. And I'm always in my craft room. I'm either building something, shooting a video, or doing something. Oh, I just realized my star. This has been making the rounds of the house, and it's slowly deflating, but all of a sudden it's back up at the ceiling. Anyway, and I said, I need that room because I'm always up here and you're not. And she said, well, only if you're willing to move everything yourself. Well, her sewing cabinet cannot be moved by one person. And I also built her a shelf system in there that I can't move by myself. And I'd have to take down everything in this closet here behind, behind the camera that you normally would see. Take all that down and move it into the other closet, take everything out of that closet, move it in here. And I just finally decided, you know what, I'll just leave it like this. I also have my desk downstairs in the basement, which once I get to working back down there again, I'll probably be using that desk as well and shoot some video. There will be some video shot down there for the layout, doing the scenery and whatnot. So anyway, that's where we're at. It's been kind of crazy. This again will be coming out in December, but for everybody, I wish you all a happy Thanksgiving. And I'll do it now because I don't know if I'll get another video out before then, but I hope everybody has a Merry Christmas as well. And we'll see you a little bit later. Bye for now.